Yeah.
Beautiful.
So is it all blissful in the relationship when we pick back up with you guys?
Blissful, that's an interesting word.
I mean, yes, we find Weihua in a very happy place. But happy isn't always the most interesting, and there's definitely some shaking up that happens, and we get to see the evolution of their love, because kind of like we ended on their marriage, but really that's just the beginning of their next chapter. So now we get to see what does that look like.
Exactly. And it's also like not realistic to think that every couple is just always blissful, right? There's ups and downs to every single relationship, and I think it's really important to represent that and to show that, like, I remember somebody saying to me, like, a good relationship is like you're doing life alongside one another, and sometimes like one person goes off a little bit like off track, but you always aiming to come back together. And I think that like that's what Weihua does so well. They're always aiming to like support one another, hold each other's hands through everything, but it would be unrealistic to think that there aren't like little waves and waves, ups and downs, little moments. So yeah, you get to see the truth of an evolved relationship.
Yes.
Yeah.
How was it for you guys to come back after a few years apart and be able to just kind of continue the story?
Right. It's a dream.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is the dream. I think that all of us were so grateful just for the opportunity to come home, and
it was so special. It was so special, and like to revisit those characters again and get to see that next chapter. And I think we have such an affinity for it. They're such a huge part of us, and I always feel like I have this thing that they continue to live off in their own thing, and then we just get to come and check back in. Like they almost feel, I think it's how I like cope with the constant like, okay, see you later. Yeah. But
like keep going.
there's something they feel like they exist for me somewhere in some alternate universe. We get to check back in.
Well, they do in many like
Purgatory.
Fanfics,
purgatory. Like they keep living on through the fandom. Right.
Yeah.
So you guys have had more life experiences since you last inhabited these characters. And the characters do. Were there any things that you experienced over your last few years that you really wanted to bring to your characters? Just, I don't know, any life experience or emotional growth or whatever.
Do you want to go first?
I think for me, I became a parent. So I have my son, and then I was pregnant with my daughter when we shot Vengeance. And I think becoming a parent, just like the deep love that you experience, and like the deep sense of family and protection. I think I tapped more into Nicole's protective nature than like becoming a parent, and also like that strength that she has, and she's such a protector, but I felt that more deeply becoming a parent and coming back. And then like the side thing of being pregnant around these guys and having that support and like doing stunts while pregnant, and what did that look like, and firing a gun and like putting blankets on my belly so that the baby wouldn't hear it, wouldn't be too loud. Like it was just like little things like that make you feel so cared for, and it would be so scary, to be honest, that where I didn't trust everybody like I do with these guys. It was a big marker in my life for sure. For me,
Yeah. And for me, I mean, the 3 years that I was away, I did a lot of personal growth and coming into my queerness and my authenticity. And I think it was really important for me to bring that into Waverly's journey too. So we feel Waverly in a much more settled place in her queerness. Like she, I think, is owning her queerness a lot more and has matured a lot more, and is just kind of like just so proud. And I think that's how I felt when I was watching. I haven't seen it yet. We haven't seen it yet. So that's all gonna come.
I know. I can't wait. I'm so excited.
I'm so excited. But we see like little clips in ADR, and that was really like moving for me, because I felt proud of Waverly. because I think it's such a blessing to be on a show that like we have a showrunner who's just like embraces who we are and wants to bring all of that into the characters. It's not shying away from that. It's like, hell yeah, like we want to see that in the stories that we're telling. So that felt like felt really special to me, to be able to come back to the family and be like, all right, this is where we're at, this is where I'm at, and this is where Waves is now at. So
it was really like as a castmate and someone who's got to witness so much of your journey, like I was so happy for you. Yeah, it was a beautiful thing to witness.
cool.
Yeah.
It's funny, you get, like inside you're like a little bit nervous that like people are gonna be like missing the hair and all of the stuff that you kind of have fears, and then when I saw it back I was like, actually we need to see these kinds of characters on TV. We need that representation too, of like people that are maybe like less in their feminine, or like have decided to cut their hair off and are just rocking it and embracing it. And so yeah, that also feels like important too. And I do feel so lucky that I have a cast that are just so embracing of my evolution, just like, oh yeah, it's cool.
Yeah.
Just to kind of piggyback off that real quick, are Waverly's pronouns, have they stayed the same or have they changed at all?
They have stayed the same. That felt actually
I don't want to misgender in anything.
Yeah.
So I want to make sure that
Thank
everything's
you.
correct.
I appreciate that a lot. We had the conversation, Emily and I, and she was like really open to it and was like, do you think that Waves would want to change their pronouns, and like how do you feel about that? But when I like tapped into it, I was like, I don't think so. I think that she is a badass female who is able to not be in the pretty long hair vibe while still be just like a strong female character, and that actually felt more authentic than trying to change the character in order to like follow my journey. And that's where it's different.
So then how was it for you stepping back into that and having to go back to hearing female pronouns used, even though it's for a character? Is it kind of...
It was an interesting
thing,
it was a really interesting thing, and I didn't know how I was going to feel. And I kind of just accepted, because there are a lot of guys on our set that did not understand the pronoun thing. And that's life. We, as gender non-conforming people, that's part of the experience. And so I was kind of like, how am I going to feel? And then I realized that once I was in Waverly's outfit, and I actually didn't mind so much. I was like, it's okay. If people are going to gender me because they see Waverly, that feels okay. It's when I'm out of my costume and I'm Dom, that it feels important to me that the people who love me are going to do their best, right, to make that change. And everyone, we're a family, and everyone's trying to, trying their best, and so I think I was quite like okay with that in the end, actually.
Thank you for being so open about your journey and everything.
Thank you. Thanks for the question.
So you're ready to do another one?
Hell yeah. Absolutely.
We've talked about it a lot. Listen, I mean, we're going to be very blunt. We need metrics and numbers. Like, we need people to watch this.
I can't imagine.
Over.
I know.
Exactly. Yeah.
Tubi's a pretty small network, so I feel like this is gonna be the
we
biggest
need
thing that's
100,000 people to watch it 10 times. Like, that's actually the math of like how many views would be really helpful.
Do I have in my house?
Yeah, but even like same account, you watch it 10 times.
Yeah.
Every time counts.
Good.
Yeah.
Good to know.
So play it, introduce your friends, have theme nights. But I think, I don't want to speak for anyone else, speak for myself, would love to tell more of this story. And we have people who are very supportive of that as long as it makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's really it.
So what do you need from Erbers to get there?
Watch
it.
over and over, share it with your friends, watch it, put it on while you're hosting dinner parties, recruit. Yeah, that's what we need. Just help us spread the word, and we're gonna do our best to.
I have a really good feeling about it.
I have a really good feeling. Like, I think
to be honest,
we were
it just
like,
feels
we're not
like,
worried.
I'm not that worried.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Thank you guys so much.